Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. I am very serious about this broadcast and about the information we're about to share here today. And that is several areas. Number one, there's something going on as far as currency revaluation discussion. And I can tell you, because I've talked to a lot of different people, some of them which are worth a lot of money, they're hearing that some type of global reset or global revaluation of all world currencies is being discussed. Let me put it to you this way, being discussed on a world banking level. Also, I can tell you that, and that includes the Iraqi dinar. The Iraqi dinar. And I know there's a lot of you out there who's holding a lot of Iraqi dinars waiting on that day. And that day may be about to come. Also, we know that gold hit an all-time high Friday at $2,089 and something. Now it took a little dip back down to 1,923, I think. But it's still booming compared to what it did the start of the year. Silver also is booming, and Bitcoin. We're now getting information that Bitcoin might be about to rise. And also, we're hearing that there's some tendency by maybe some banks to not wire money for customers. Now, I don't know what that means. Here's what I'm going to do. Get out of the way and bring the expert on who can maybe help us in these areas. And that's Colin Plume from www.noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Colin, great to have you here. What's going on, Colin?
Pastor Paul, exciting, lots happening out there, lots to talk about, frankly. And the first thing I wasn't sure if I should mention this, but in regards to, it goes along with what we're talking about with the potential of the reset of the dollar. And I think, banks right now are tightening up. They're trying to hold money back, and we've had clients that have tried to send us money and wire transfers, and the banks are trying to stop them from sending those wire transfers. Now, I can't get into details about that, the specifics on the banks and whatnot, but it is happening. I think it makes sense because a lot of these banks are struggling right now. They may not, if they have a big surge of people moving out of traditional investments and savings accounts, they're going to do what they can to kind of slow that process down. So from a business point of view, I understand, but ultimately the thing is that when you deposit your money in a bank, it's your money. They're a custodian of your money. They borrow, they lend money on it. They charge you fees to keep it there. So the idea is, especially if it's in a checking or savings, the idea is that you should have access to it. Now, these clients that contact us, these aren't CDs or bonds or money that's tied up. This is money that they should have had access to. So
are you saying, Colin, this is cash? Just literally, let's say cash. They're being told they can't wire the money?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I've seen it from time to time. It pops up when you have these. 2008, it happened a lot too. Obviously, that makes sense. But we're starting to see it again now. And so, that makes, I think, everybody nervous. One of the things that I've always said to people is you definitely want to make sure that, listen, everybody has to have some money in a bank in some form. You want to make sure your money is not in all in one bank because of this very specific situation, because if they hold it and you need money, then you have some money in another bank. So it's good to distribute money between a few banks just for safety. But I think the scary part for people is that they want to make a decision, they want to make an investment on something, and they're being told that they can't. Will it continue? I don't know. But you do see these things start to pop up, and I think a lot of it is just our money, our U.S. dollar in general, is just, really lost a lot of value. Now, yesterday, you had a boom in the U.S. dollar because you had some positive news on COVID, and you had a little stronger dollar, and you saw gold and silver pull back. But with this meteoric rise that we have, you're definitely going to have a correction like you did yesterday. And a lot of our clients saw it as a buying opportunity, and we did a tremendous amount of business yesterday, and today already it's up. Silver jumped up almost 5% from yesterday. And just to give you a historical idea of the values right now, even gold in the mid-1900s is still greater than the actual all-time high, which it hit in September of 2011, which was 1906. So even though we're in the mid-1900s, it's still at an all-time high. And silver was, before COVID, was sitting in the $14 range. Now we're in the $25 range. And yes, it did hit, close to 30. But you're going to have, when an investment like this is moving, the demand is high, you're going to have some pullbacks. We've had multiple days of 4 to 6% returns in both metals, and this yesterday was the first sort of pullback correction that we've seen since this whole thing has started.
Okay, so you got one day of a pullback, but if you look at for the whole year so far, gold is up a significant amount, and silver even higher, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, people right now they're looking for safety. I think that's the key word. And obviously when the dollar is being devalued the way it is, and the government it's all stimulus, right? Any way you want to look at it, stimulus. And even if we get a vaccine for COVID, it's not like things are going to turn right away. Things are going to get easier right away. There's obviously a lot of people that would be the first people to get that vaccine. Obviously, there's some people that aren't going to want to take that vaccine. I know Russia just kind of dumped their vaccine out there because they don't care. I mean, I guess they just will let their people just test that out and see what happens. And in a way, they did us a favor if you think about it, because hopefully everyone's safe there, and it turns out that the side effects are minor, and then we know that this vaccine works, and we can start implementing it here in our country. So but to say that the economy is just going to turn back the way it was before, it's pretty unlikely. A lot of industries, restaurants, and a lot of where there's a lot of jobs, hospitality, that industry's not coming back this year. Is it going to come back by first quarter of next year? Maybe. But I still think those industries have a long way to go, because even if companies start hiring again, who in their right mind, if you lost your job, you've been out of work for the last 5 months, is going to go, oh, I just got a job, great, I got my first few paychecks, who's ready to go to Europe? I mean, that's not going to happen, right? So overall travel and spending is going to be down for the most part, and which in some ways is good. I mean, credit card debt is way down. People are being much more cautious, but this machine of the United States this capitalism machine runs on spending, and I think no one's going to be spending anything more than what they need for the rest of this year, and that's not really going to be good for the economy. And so you have a lot of these factors. So why is gold and silver reacting? People ask this question, why gold and silver? It's because investors are looking for a return, a safe return. That's why. And not just household investors, but institutions are saying the dollar is not safe. I'm not going to do U.S. bonds. I need to get some kind of safe return. So you have all this money jumping into gold, all these countries jumping into gold. So it makes sense what's happening right now. And will the stock market have the pullback that most people thought? Who knows? But it doesn't really seem to have any effect on what's happening with gold or silver right now.
Folks, this is Colin Plume. He's with us from www.noblegoldinvestments.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestments.com. You can also call him, talk to Colin Plume or one of his staff at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Colin, I'm going to ask you about the impact on the economy with the shutting down of the college football season, if that's what happens. But before I do, the Iraqi dinar. Okay, we're talking about revaluing, maybe a global reset of currencies. We see why gold and silver is rising. And when you tell me banks won't let people send a wire transfer from their own money to somebody else, that sends a flag of, whoa, is there a run on the bank or is there something else happening? I don't think it's a run on the bank. I think lending's going to slow way down. But, I mean, as far as ability for people to borrow. But what about the Iraqi dinar? Is there a chance that this is fine? I mean, it's been 30 years since Saddam Hussein. Is this the time that not only the Middle Eastern money may see a revaluation along with a globally, the dollar and everyone else? Do you see an adjustment coming?
Everything about the Iraqi dinar, it comes down to the viability and the acceptability of the government to the world. You know, that really what it comes down to is, because for most people that have invested in that currency, they got it at such a low point that if for any reason that currency became just more respected out there in the community, that would be enough of a jump for everyone that bought it to have some profit. Now, I know when people bought that dinar, there was promises of, 100 times return and things like that. And that's, I think that's a shame that anyone would have said that to anybody. But could that currency become more of an accepted currency out there? It's definitely possible. I mean, I think that the dollar is sort of the laughing stock of the world, just in terms of how much money that we're printing. I mean, we've almost doubled our debt in the last 6 months just with all the stimulus. So, when people say the dinar and this country, that it's not a good currency, I mean, listen, a lot of things happened there since we were there. If that government starts to write things out and they become a trading partner and people want to trade with them, and they do some of the right things, it's definitely possible. I doubt they're in the similar debt crisis that we're in. So, acceptability of currencies right now and globally, it is really being pushed. We obviously have a big control over that, but the dollar wasn't always the world reserve currency. I mean, we became the currency in 1944 at the Bretton Woods Exchange. So, can those things happen? If we continue to just try to stimulate with that, is there a time that, the world finally says it's enough? And I think it is going to be time. I think eventually that the dollar won't be the only currency that's the currency of the world. I think we'll have a basket of currencies. And if the dinar is in there, then everyone that invested into that will be very happy. And I hope, because as many calls as we get about it, so do we. Just people call us because, they think that we have some kind of inside track into what's happening there. And I've never sold it. I don't know. I've never been involved in it, but I watch all money and everything that's happening. And I hope that currency goes up and everybody does really well on that. For a lot of the people that got in, especially early on, I hope they can get out of it. If not just get their money out, but also hopefully make a decent profit.
Yeah, folks, again, Colin Plume's with us with noblegoldinvestment.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. You can call Colin or one of his associates at 877-646-5347. And they're really doing a great job in helping people navigate through difficult times. And look, Colin called it that gold and silver was going to rise. And he said that we would see gold go over $2,000 an ounce and that we would see silver maybe hit 30. Well, those two predictions came true. And even the fact that $3,000 an ounce, I think, is still in the view for gold, and maybe $50 an ounce for silver in the next 12 months because of the stimulus packages that's printing money. That means when the dollar's devalued, precious metals go up. You just got to know that's how the scales tip. And also on the dinar, at one point in 1991, just before the invasion on Iraq, before Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, the dinar was worth three dinars for every U.S. dollar, which is about what Israel's money is right now, 3 shekels.
Yeah, it's pretty
right.
close.
It's pretty close to that. So imagine now with the dinars like 0.00084, okay, per dollar. Okay, is not good. So if they do anything to restabilize that Middle Eastern area, if it just comes up to, 10 to 1, it'd be a massive explosion of wealth that could touch a lot of lives. So let's hope it does. Let me just say this. Let me ask you, Colin, you got to do something with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, to me, Bitcoin has become the third option: gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And maybe it's the first option, cryptocurrency. What do you think? I mean, 11,585 right now. What's going on with Bitcoin? And it's been rising the last 30 days.
It's just getting more and more accepted in different places. There's more exchanges opening up that people are able to use it. It's just becoming more accessible. And I think the other thing about it is that when you look at how much cryptocurrency is actually traded, they say less than 5% of it is actually like day traders right now. And that was a few years ago, it was like 1 or 2%. So if you think about like the stock market, which has a huge amount of people that are out there that are day trading, you have hedge funds. So you have all these people that are moving in and out of it every day, creating a lot of volatility. Then you have mutual funds, with the stock market. You see Bitcoin and all that, they're just starting to create funds for this currency. They're just starting to get day trade. Now, there's day traders that have been doing it probably 7-8 years, but it's such a small amount of people. And as that amount of people grows and they can see that they can make a profit on it. And I have a friend who, has been doing different trading, stock trading, and then just got out of all that, and all they do now is trade cryptocurrencies because there's just so much more profit in it than the stock market. So I think that as that continues to go in that direction, people feel more comfortable. And I think that what we're seeing is that you see Bitcoin as the one everybody talks about, and then you have all these altcoins, anything but Bitcoin, that are starting to trade and get excitement. Ethereum, which has that blockchain technology for Ethereum, is probably some of the strongest that's out there in terms of the way that they proof their coins. You've seen Ethereum really start to go up, and a lot of systems are getting built on Ethereum. So we have a lot of clients are buying it from us, because we obviously do crypto and IRAs too. So we're seeing. So actually, what's been interesting in the last 60 days is we've had a lot of gold clients sell some of their gold and go into cryptocurrencies with some of their profits, which they can do within the same account in their IRA, which is really cool, and it's all tax deferred. So that's really brilliant. And that they had that kind of vision to do that. Hey, I'll take some of this profit, and then I'm going to start moving over to crypto, because I think crypto's still got a lot of room. So we've seen some people really take advantage of that IRA vehicle, and being able to do it within the same account makes it so easy. I mean, you could sell your gold and be in Bitcoin within a few days, or Ether, or whatever you want to go into. So a lot of people have been doing that, and that's sort of that like sell high, buy low strategy. I know Bitcoin's, it's at 11,000, but it hit 20,000 a few years ago, so it's still got some interesting room, I think. And it's just becoming more of a mainstream currency. And I've said on your show, I believe eventually there'll be a country, a third world country, that will take on Bitcoin as their currency. I think it will happen. I think it'll happen in the next 2 to 3 years, because it'll just make more sense. Because a lot of the currencies that they are using are a lot of times dictators come in and they're able to manipulate. You have high inflation, where Bitcoin is not. You're not able to do that because it's not controlled by any one person. So I think the future is really bright. Now the volatility is high, and it's nothing like gold and silver. You have to be prepared for that real roller coaster ride. But it's been less of that. I mean, Bitcoin, once it broke kind of 9,000 this year, it's been holding and been pretty steady above that for the remaining up to today as an investment.
And also, Colin, if you think about it, and you're able to help people, if they pick up the phone, they call and they say, look, I got a 401k. I'm disappointed. It's lost about 10% of its value this year. I want to. Can you help them roll that into an IRA account, a gold IRA account, or maybe into some precious metals? How's that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's the paperwork is really easy. We have a team that will help you, work, get that paperwork. The paperwork takes 5-10 minutes, and then my team really has to go to work. That's the part. What we're finding is, custodians and banks, they don't want to move money that quickly. So we're actually working. I have people working almost 24 hours a day to get money moved over. Definitely 6 days a week. And I have a person that literally just calls custodians to try to move money over. It's been, it's just what you have to do to help people. So, we have an internal team that does it. The custodian we work with has an internal team. So everybody's working to help people get the money over. And then once the funds are over, we can get you gold and silver or cryptocurrency or whatever gold, silver, whatever you'd like. And, people ask, well, how do I get out of it? We buy it back. We sell bullion, coins, and bars. Everything we sell is what everybody buys. So, we buy it back. Anybody would buy back any of the items. We don't sell anything that's so exotic that there's no buyers for it. Some of the companies sell, coins that you never heard of, and they corner the market on a small batch of them, and then you end up trying to liquidate those, and there's no buyers. We sell lots of American Eagles, lots of bars, especially right now, a lot of bars, because the U.S. Mint, I don't know if you saw, it's sort of been shut down, and so the cost of the U.S. minted coins has really skyrocketed. So most people are focusing on bars because they're more cost effective, and we're talking to clients about that. But those are the things we do. We try to find deals and help people and get them into the right products that are going to save them money and get them more bang for their buck, so to speak.
Also, Colin, maybe you can speak to this, and that is the floods. In China, there's been massive monsoon rains, and the largest dam in the world there on the Yangtze River has been threatened to literally collapse. And what we're hearing is that a lot of the Bitcoin miners are actually individuals living in China, and the floodwaters have washed them out. And that means they got big servers, and they're in there, and they're mining. They're actually what's called mining Bitcoin. Is that also, that means I think there's been a slowdown in the mining. Do you see that as a potential of Bitcoin going up to $15,000 a coin?
I mean, they say 90% of Bitcoin mining happens in China, and if you look at the map of where where the floods are happening, it's right where a lot of the concentration of mining is actually happening for Bitcoin. So, the reason a lot of it is there is because the electricity is affordable, and so because it's very expensive to mine Bitcoin, the amount of computers you need, the amount of electricity. So you have to be in a place that you can get that, electricity much cheaper. And so, that is, I think, part of the reason that we've seen. I mean, I think just global insecurity is the bigger reason, but I do think that the less miners, less people that are out there able to mine Bitcoin, obviously that's going to push the price up. I've been watching that, the rains and the floods, and obviously there's some nuclear reactors there that could be in harm's way. So it's a very scary situation on what's happening over there in China, and I hope nothing bad happens to anybody there. Unfortunately.
Absolutely, that's correct, and we don't want that to come. But people should be aware, folks. You should be aware that how the process works, how Bitcoins, they just don't come trickling out of the air, and because of these weather conditions and threatening the 90% of the guys that mine Bitcoin, you really could have a change in that value. So keep your eyes open. Again, guys, get a hold of www.noblegoldinvestments.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestments.com. You can call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. If you qualify for an IRA, you can get that free coin, America the Beautiful. I mean, are you serious?
You know what, Pastor Paul, the coin that I'm offering this month, I wasn't able to send you because I just got it a few days ago.
Okay.
It's the Apollo 11 5-ounce proof coin. I've been trying to buy this coin for a long time in bulk. just so I had enough to send to clients, but I was able to pick up enough of them. And it's a proof coin. It's selling online all over for $300 plus. Very special minting process. Beautiful coin. I actually bought them, was going to do this offer, then had second thoughts about maybe keeping them for myself. And because my wife really loves it, obviously I'm giving it to my kids. These coins are just amazing. One of the most beautiful coins I think the U.S. Mint has done, especially in recent years. And it's, obviously commemorates the 50-year anniversary of the landing. And so there, just a lot of history behind the coin. So it's any qualified IRA, anything above $20,000, you'll get this coin for free. You can also buy them if you call in. We're limiting the sale to 10 coins, so you can buy them also. But yeah, and we're selling them less than the $300 that people are selling for online. So we're giving people a good deal on them. So if anybody wants, I think gift wise, couldn't be better. In my opinion, coin, and this is my personal opinion, I think these coins will be worth a few $1,000s, probably in the next 5 to 10 years. I think they're great value coin. And so, yeah, and I'm excited to be able to send it to people. I love, I'm not a huge proponent of getting, any numismatic. It's not for everybody, but this coin is really special, and I think people are going to love this coin.
So there you go. I don't have one to show you folks, but he's got them. If you do that, he'll send you, this is Apollo 11, I take it.
It's the same size of the coin that you have.
Yep.
That we gave away last month, except it's more valuable because it's a proof coin, which means it comes in a case. It's never been touched by human hands. They have a special minting process on it. So it's a really, really interesting. So anybody, as long as you start the IRA process this year, if you want to buy it from us, until we sell out, then they'll be available. And then as soon as I just got them, so I'll definitely send you one.
Okay, appreciate that. We'll show those off to people.
You can share with Brock if you want, or you don't have to.
Okay, I'll probably share with Brock. Okay. Hey guys, seriously. Colin Plume is a wonderful, wonderful company that he has at noblegoldinvestment.com. Christian company, they're family owned, and they've been doing it a long time, and they understand how to treat the customer right. And that's why we've been very, very comfortable in bringing you to them and encouraging you. And you see, there's some volatility of things going on right now. Let's be honest. Since COVID hit, it's good to have some of your investment in precious metals. Okay, it really is. And then as things evolve later, you've got some secured wealth put away while you're still watching to see what currencies do. And that's what you do there, Colin. I think you're making a great impact. So what is your, obviously you'll say get some gold and silver, but what should people look for? The college football season, I guess the Big Ten. What's this mean to the economy? This is huge.
Yeah, it's another, as we talked about, it's another place where a lot of people would have a second job or their first job, and those jobs are gone, right? All the food service in college football, all the ticket takers, the parking, the security. Thousands and thousands of jobs. And a lot of people, even when they had their main career, this would be their second job to kind of fulfill some income. And getting all that sort of wiped out is really, it's horrible for a lot of people. There's not only the jobs, but the taxes that are generated for the places that have the games.
Well, I can tell you, Colin, right here in West Lafayette, Indiana, Purdue University. Okay, so we're a town of 175,000 people, and 41,000 of those are the students that come.
Right.
Now, you shut down the games, all these hotel chains, all these restaurants, and they've already suffered for 6 months under COVID. And I talked to guys out there. There's probably 10 restaurants closed. And I've talked to guys, and they say, "Look, we're just holding on for football season. If we can just get to the football season, we can make it." And now it's gone. So there's going to be a vacuum here of businesses, and I think that's going to affect cities all across America. Don't you think?
Yeah, and also one thing, this is kind of interesting, but so like professional sports, when let's say, an athlete plays in Houston, one of the things I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but when an athlete that plays for the Lakers goes to play for the Rockets, that athlete for that game has to pay taxes in that state. Now, all the basketball getting paid in Florida, so in Orlando, and all the soccer, so all the money's just going there. So all these states that were getting all these massive, so not only all the jobs, all the ticket sales and everything, but all of these states were getting income from all these professional athletes. You know, some of them make $50,000 a game, 75. They would get taxed in that specific state of where that sporting event was played, and that's all going to be gone now, especially for basketball. So that's a tremendous amount of taxable income, you know. And when you're in the $50,000 a day bracket, half that money is going to the government, and a lot of that's going to the state government. And so that's really you know, a sad thing for a lot of them. So there's, you know, even though everyone's like sports is back and we're watching on TV, there's tax implications in the United States that these states are going to kind of struggle not getting this income, coupled with all the jobs and everything that are going on. So it's, you know, it's pretty, you know, pretty sad. And speaking of jobs, I did want to just say, because we had our anniversary, Paul, who's one of our senior sales reps, been with us a long time. His anniversary at Noble Gold was today, so I just want to say he's a big fan of your show too. So just want to say thank you to Paul, and you know, he's been an incredible employee. I think he's probably one of the most knowledgeable sales associates, very knowledgeable, knows Bitcoin, knows gold, and just wanted to say thanks to him for everything and all his hard work.
Are you serious, Paul? I mean, congratulations. I'm glad. Happy anniversary to you working with Noble Gold. That's good to know, Colin. It's good. You got good people there, and that's why you're getting good results. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
all right.
It's been great. Oh, very, very blessed to have such a dedicated and, you know, really everybody loves what we're doing. And, you know, I'd say, you know, most of them are watching, you know, the shows, and they're involved and they understand it. And actually this month they're all getting that coin too. I wanted to extend that coin. A lot of people have been calling about it. So I set aside some for my kids. I set aside one for you. I set aside some for the employees. So everybody's getting that coin. Okay. And anybody that calls in and does an IRA is going to get that coin, any qualified IRA. So I'm excited to get some silver in the people's hands. So.
You're a good man, Colin, and we appreciate that very much. You've been a good friend to our ministry. So God bless you. God bless your company. And folks, and thank you, Colin, for being with us today. This was a very informative show, folks. Again, www.noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com, or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, Colin, for being with us today. Just released information from this powerful conference, Aliens, AI, and the Antichrist. A strong, in-depth study with some of the greatest scientific minds and biblical scholars on the reality of aliens, AI, the Antichrist, the biblical explanation of the end days. Prophetically packaged. Get your copy of it now at my website. Do it now. It's ready to go.